Any questions for Ifo?
How does it feel to finally have the Stanford monkey off your back? Sorry.
Feels good. Okay, hold on 1 second. Sorry. Let me just turn it on. All right. Okay. How does it feel to have the monkey off our back? I mean, feels good. 2 years they beat us, and now we got them back this year, and it feels good to have a win. But now we have to get forward and get ready for the next game because we're playing a team that might be even better.
Questions for Ifo right here. Royce will be with you in just a second, okay?
I was just going to ask you about that, Ifo. A lot of times in college football, you see a team win a really big game, sort of like this, getting paid back, blah, 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 and then they play a pretty good team next time. A couple of years ago, you guys beat Stanford, lost to USC. How do you prevent that?
Definitely just have to come out and practice hard. I mean, practice, it translates to the game. And, the way that you perform every single day, the way that you prepare, translates to game day.
Darren Carrington is in the cubicles. Questions for Ifo?
Is that sometimes easier said than done?
Raise your hand, please.
Oh, definitely. It's a lot easier said than done. Just goes down to just how deliberate will you be with your focus and with your time management. Everyone's in school now. And, you have to learn how to manage school and football and how to get the best of both worlds and make sure that you're on top of your game in both. In school and in football.
Far side?
Ifo, do you think this was the best game that you guys have played this year?
The best game? You have to watch the film to say. We did a good job of playing with energy, and we played hard. For mostly the whole game, offense did a great job of executing. And, you definitely have to watch this film to see if it was your best game, but I thought we played one of our best games so far.
Right.
Royce, you had a couple of, big pickups from Marcus, on Stanford blitzes. Was that a point of emphasis this week, picking up those blitzes and really being physical at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, it was a major point of emphasis. I heard it about 10 times a day. Just watch for any lineman that needed help on the blitz pickup, so just to be ready.
Coach Graywood is in the back. Tom in the back.
Ifo back here, kind of behind the cameras here. Talk to me about the defensive mindset and intensity going into this game. Obviously last year they dominated on third down conversions and fourth down conversions, and tonight you guys won that stat. You also won the points off turnovers. And just the general, you guys had to sort of rise to their level of, what you had seen from them in the past.
Definitely. That was one of the biggest things coming into the game. We were trying to win the game on defense and try to limit them and make them earn every single point that they get rather than giving up big plays or blowing assignments. We wanted to force them to drive downfield. And, they did an okay job, but at the same time, they weren't able to get all the way into the end zone. That's a good job by the defense of tightening it up as they get closer to the end zone.
Coach Pelham is down in the back. Molly in the back left.
You came back, play this season. Was this one of the reasons you came back, to see if you could get this win against Stanford?
It feels good to get the win, definitely. Playing with all the other seniors that we haven't won the last 2 years. It feels great to get a win like this, and I'm sure a lot of guys will be over it tomorrow and be ready for the next game.
All right, one more question for Ifo, and then we'll move on to Royce. In the back, somebody has a mic. I didn't know who it is.
It's great. So Eric Dargan had that interception and forced that fumble. How important was his role tonight for your defense?
It's important. He's a senior leader, and he's one of the guys that we count on in the secondary. And, he was able to make the plays today. He did a good job. And, that's something that you expect of him. He does it in practice every day, and it translates to the game.
Thank you, Ifo. Questions for Royce? Anyone right here? Yep, let's do it.
Hey, Royce, you're a big back, real physical, hard to stop for a loss on the runs. Did you know going into this, had you watched any Stanford games actually in the last 2 years against Oregon? Did you know that you could play a big role being a big back like you are and pushing forward like you do?
Yeah, I was just coming out there trying to meet the physicality Stanford brings to the table defensively, so I knew it would be a great matchup. And just while I was out there, they're bringing the physicality, but we were also bringing it back to them.
I was going to say. Questions for Royce. In the back, Molly. Look at the microphone, please, Molly.
Royce, I've asked the coach and I've asked a veteran player about this big Stanford game. You're new. Was it any different than any other game you've been preparing for? And my second question is, are you a Philadelphia Eagles fan?
Come on, man.
Come on, sit down.
Yeah. It wasn't anything new. I mean, we just had to come in preparation for a new week, just a new task, but it'd be a more physical task. Yeah, I like the Eagles. I like watching them. It's I don't know how to explain it. I've been watching them since I was young and since Donovan McNabb was on the team. So I mean, I like watching them.
Questions for Royce? Right back here.
This was a game where you and Thomas both seemed to go back and forth and both be effective. Can you talk about your relationship with Thomas, and is it nice when you're both having big games?
Royce, 1 second. Derek Malone is in the back now, or I'm sorry, in the confessional area. Go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, it's a nice situation. We're both doing great things out there on the field. I mean, him coming out there with his speed and the different things he brings out there to the table, and just both of us going back and forth makes it easier on the offense as far as the passing game as well.
Front right, Matt.
Gary Campbell said that you and Thomas have really pushed each other the last 2 weeks. What have you seen out of him this past week to prepare for this game?
Just both of our attention to detail. I mean, if one of us gets something wrong in practice, we're going to correct each other, not let it go, and just it's like we're competing all over again. I mean, you always got to compete. So, I mean, it's been a fun process out there, and we're just getting better every week, I feel.
Do you feel like this was his best week of practice?
I don't know. I mean, that would be something you have to ask him. But, I mean, he goes hard every time he's out there at the practice field. So, I mean, it's showing out there on the field.
Back left, Warren. Royce,
Here, how much better has this offensive line gotten over the last, say, 5 weeks since Jake has got back? It seems like there was a lot of big holes tonight against a very tough defense that was only allowing 12.5 points a game.
Yeah, the offensive line is doing a great job out there. I mean, especially with this type of defense we went against. It was a pleasure out there running behind them. I mean, they opened up great holes for us. And Jake is a great offensive lineman. I mean, since he's been back, I mean, we've really been pushing out there.
Questions? Any more for Royce? One more. We got time for one more. We're good. Thank you, Royce.
Appreciate it.